at Radio Free America. This is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I've got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song. It's 11:59 at Radio Free.
Buy things at here websites.com. Buy things.
And I can't get this thing to quit making noise. So welcome everybody to Daily Gun Show. Come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern. And I gotta go turn off our radio, so we're gonna immediately have dead air. Ooh. It sounds like rain. I gotta go check if it's raining. How did that happen? And the time I was outside a minute ago with the dog and then went live, it's raining outside. It wasn't even starting to rain. It's crazy. I don't even know where that came from. There wasn't even clouds above us. Maybe it's not rain. I don't know what it is. Anyway, it's Friday night, and it is episode, I don't know, 1,000 something. It is episode 1,145. So that's a good episode number. 11 and 45 in the same episode. Looks like a couple people are out here this evening. Probably being corked. It's a fun activity on a Friday is to cork the good shows. So, good evening. Nothing planned. Try to have a show each evening. I shouldn't say that. Try to have a conversation each evening. So I'll put a link out here if you want to join in. Otherwise, I haven't looked at the calendar in a while. We'll look at the calendar. We've had it open for the last 4 days, but I really haven't actually looked at it much. All right, so we're about half an hour late tonight. We'll see if anybody shows up. And it is, was it 7:30? Holy moly. So yeah, it's, noticed that on the Instagram today, quite a few channels were, that was a big one. So a lot of channels were focusing on Purple Heart Day. So today is the day people who have got the Purple Heart, you observe that. So it's Purple Heart Observation Day, and that started back in 2014. Purple Heart's been around for a long, long time, but didn't observe it until 14. That's interesting. All right, so it is also what would have been Blade Show, or wait, it is the Blade Show. Is it Blade Show? I guess we're going to find out. It was rescheduled till this weekend, but I haven't heard nothing about it at all. So I'm guessing they canceled it. Blade Show 2020 canceled. So it looks like it's now scheduled for August. Let's see. Yeah. Well, blah, 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 with blah, blah, blah. We've been receiving countless questions about the impact. Unfortunately, we come to the conclusion and, less, got all the stuff ordered. Right on. So, we ended up taking that show to Patreon only. But But yeah, I wouldn't mind chatting about that sometime. Because I suspected it was something like that. One thing is just a vice, right? So I have to cut my buck, you already own one, and then the other part you can make pretty quick. The piston would be the interesting part. All right, so it looks like I'm not screen sharing. I'll start screen sharing over here. I just looked up the Blade Show, and it is in fact rescheduled for June, where it's supposed to be of next year, and that says it'll be the 40th annual. So I guess, how does that work? If they canceled the 39th annual, how do they get off saying they're having a 40th annual? I got a real problem with that. Real problem with that. As a numerologist, an amateur numerologist, I have a problem with them working their numbers all around willy-nilly. I believe that's willy-nilly number horking. Arkansas Knife and Blade Show were both canceled too. Oh, Arkansas Knife Show and Blade Show were both canceled. I never heard of the other one. Are there a lot of Arkansas toothpicks there? That's a knife joke. Knife. Anyway, so that's Blade Show. I might as well cram Blade Show. Dang it, I just had the thing open and now I can't remember. June. So I think I'm going to cram Blade Show. Under major U.S. gun shows. Not really a gun show. But I'm going to stick it in here anyway. Because it is kind of, I don't know, it's been going on for a long, long time actually. Oh, why is that being weird? And it's almost always in. So now we got that updated, and eventually I'll go back and add it. Wiring up the P in heaters is more difficult than making the machine. Right on. PID is power supply, I guess. So this is literally my morning. I woke up, I don't know, 15 minutes ago or something. So I thought I'd overslept the show, but I'm gonna go over here and check email, make sure there's no fires or nothing. My phone was dead when I woke up, so normally I would do that, or have done that already. No, nothing in fact. So nothing to worry about, and get back to work. So unless anybody wants to jump in, like I say, I ain't really trying to prove nothing with this show. Just have a conversation, talk about actual gun stuff. I got my database over here, and I am obviously 25 states in, so approximately halfway through the states of going over here and working on this. I guess I was in the middle of going to the calendar though. See if there was anything else in the calendar I was going to look at. So we just had Hunting with Suppressor yesterday. That was 2015 yesterday. Purple Heart Day today. Blade Show should have been starting, and that would have been a 3-day event. Tomorrow, Smith & Wesson is about to invent the self-contained cartridge, the metal cartridge. So they take a primer, which was recently invented, some Europe guy, accidentally probably, and then they take a piece of shot, which is from a shotgun, so that's been invented for a long time already, and they cram the two together, just like a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, perfection. You take the tube of a cylinder, or I mean of a primer, and you take the rounded ball tube of a piece of shot, you cram them together, and what you get is the 22 short, basically. So rimfire, because of, I guess, the way they made the cartridge, or the case. And then they hired, dang it, I can't think of the guy's name. They hired, what's his face, Roland White, maybe? Can't think of the guy's name off the top of anyway, they hired or they borrowed or bought the patent off of the dude who invented the bored through cylinder, which was kind of pointless when everything else was black powder. I don't know why he bothered with that, but he must have seen the future, because then these guys put their bullet into his bored through cylinder, basically on a frame or a gun that Colt would have been made, right? The revolver. But and then boom, you got the modern revolver. So you go from one bullet or two bullets maybe on a double barrel, but are ignited by flintlock or wicklock or rope lock or whatever the hell you want to call matchlocks. And then eventually you get to these percussion caps, which makes life a lot easier because it's a lot more easy to deal with than all that other stuff. But this takes it a whole nother step further, because now you have repeating fire. You have the ability to pull the trigger multiple times, and you have cartridges that'll go off every time you pull the trigger, no matter what. They can get wet, kind of. I'm sure they weren't waterproof, but I bet you they could get wetter than any other kind of stuff till that time. It changed everything. It made it so you could put a gun in your pocket and have 5 shots. It's insane. Plus, you could just take it right out of your pocket and shoot it. Can't even imagine. That's like the internet back then, 1850s. So, that'll go unnoticed by a million people. That happens tomorrow. That's Saturday. So while Caliber Corner is on, you think they'll be talking about the first cartridge, 22 short? We'll see. That was 1854. Then Sunday, Melvin Johnson rifle, and a bunch of other stuff. He gets born, looks like. And then James Lee Paris. What's that? That is inventor of the magazine used in the Medford Lee and the Enfield. So some Europe guy that invented cramming bullets together. Probably a metric number of bullets. And then it also looks like, holy smack, is this already Rick Ector's 9th annual free women shooting event? So Legally Armed in Detroit is Rick Ector. He's been doing stuff forever, almost long as Ken Blanchard. But he's up in Detroit and doing it. I mean, he gets the word out there, but for whatever reason, he isn't like some kind of media sensation, let's say. But he's been doing good work. And for 9 years now, he's been bringing ladies together to give them free firearms training and kind of an introduction and orientation and a familiarization type of thing. And at this point, I think his goal is to teach 1,000 women in one day. Or maybe it's way past that. I haven't listened to the interviews or retained information from the interviews enough. Did he already reach the 1,000 goal? Anyway, I think he's going to the 1,000 goal, and then he's trying to get bigger than that. So he does it in shifts. It starts at 9 a.m. It goes till 7, and he has, see right there, 1,000. He brings in different instructors. And so it's not like one guy teaching a big crowd of women and calling that instruction. Instead, it's actual instruction. People come in and have a normal amount of, or a normal ratio, I guess, of student instructor. And they come in and they get some orientation and whatnot. And then 1,000 women. So that's pretty cool. In one day, they'll bring together the resources to train, to instruct, or to familiarize 1,000 women with firearms in Detroit. So pretty cool. And it becomes a pretty big event. He's been, if you don't watch him on YouTube, you should. He's got a pretty decent channel. Instead of, he's not really selling nothing, but the concept of his classes or whatever, but the way that he gets it out there is great. He appears on a lot of people's shows and then brings that to his channel. So it's a great use of resources, in my opinion. He does a great job. Obviously, he's been around for a long time, so he's got it down. And like I say, his channel is mostly not his produced stuff, but stuff that he participates in, other people's produced stuff that he reposts, you could say. And his contributions to other people's discussions or conversations or instruction is great because he's just so good at it. Like, it's just great watching somebody who's super familiar, I guess, and comfortable with the topics. And yeah, Rick's a cool dude. So 1,000 ladies, free training, one day. And that is tomorrow. No, wait, that is the 9th. So Sunday. So pretty dang cool. And then I think he's already have plans to make that even larger, to bring it around and make it a bigger thing even. So it'd be neat. All right, that's the calendar. I'm not going to keep looking next week, though. We do have Red Dawn Day coming up. It's Monday, so there you go. We probably should take off work. Cubans might invade. It's possible that they would wait for the anniversary of Red Dawn in order to invade. It's hard to say. See if we jumped in here. No. So we're 15 minutes in. I'll throw the link out one more time. But again, I'm not here to do a rant. I already went this morning for like an hour on the big channel. Am I in the right channel? I went out on the big channel and did I don't know, basically until it crashed this morning, working on the 50 States book here. So continue to work on that. That's what I'm going to be doing here for a minute. And we'll see if anybody jumps in, takes up the opportunity to be part of this conversation, or just a bunch of weird lurkers. Let's find out. There's Bob. Got 4 people watching. Good evening. How's it going up in the greater north, I guess. Let's see. So I was to Michigan, and now I'm in Minnesota. So I went through and I added another thing. I kind of mentioned this earlier, but there's these templates, I think they're called. I think they're just called templates. Master templates or something. So you got master and other, you can make as many templates as you want. Depending on what kind of project you're working on, you might have a section of a book or chapter, who knows what, that has a particular layout or something. So I went to the templates and I had already had things that I wanted on every single page, like open carry, concealed carry, and whatnot. So I added one called Second Amendment Sanctuaries, which was on the original draft, but I hadn't added yet to this save or this backup. So I had not added it yet. So I saw that I missed it this morning or last night when I was working on this. So I went in and added that to the template. And what that does in effect is adds it to every page. Now these are the pages that I've already done, but over here in this spreadsheet is where I keep track of the information for that section. So I've just been going through, and if you can see that portion of the, zoom in. If you can see that portion is just here underneath of all these other things, and each one's a little bit different. Some of them are as simple as how many counties are sanctuary counties, Second Amendment sanctuary counties, or some of them, like Illinois, you got Miller versus, or McDonald's versus Chicago. You got Ezel versus Chicago. So, you got all kinds of actual stuff that's going on. You get to Kansas, and they had their governor signed an act, and they have one other county. So that's what I'm putting in now. Pain in the ass to get high speed at a tiny village. That's too bad. Am I crazy? Do they have free internets in Canada? Is that one of them things that they call like public utility or whatever? Or do you got still buy it? Or I guess does the town buy it and send it out? All right, so what happened? I lost my spreadsheet. That's what I'm looking for. I got way too much stuff open. So I'm going to close that, and I don't know what to do with these gun shows. I found some gun shows that I've never heard of before, and I kind of want to put them into the list, but I also don't want the list to get bogged down with every single gun show promoter that's out there. All right, so here's one. These two aren't too bad because there's nothing that those pages weren't crowded or nothing. So first I just grab the copy off of that spreadsheet, come over here and hit paste. And then I need to find out the key to scoop that up. I don't know what that's called, otherwise I'd figure out what to go search for. So I put that there, then I go to, what's next, Mississippi. Copy that, paste it. I guess I'll paste it. And put that character to that, and that formats the size and the color. Turns it bold, which I guess I'm dealing with. It's not like necessarily a preference, but I'm not going to unbold it every time. So this one already had some stuff, but it wasn't too badly centered. But I'm going to move it down just a hair. Then move that out. All right, so I'll move it to there. So it gets right to the comma. And what's next? Missouri. So we'll go over here and see that Missouri doesn't even have anything. So what I'm going to do for that one is grab that thing, which is in the template, but in this instance of it, I can delete it because I don't need it on that. It's still here because it's in the template, so it's still on every other page. I just grabbed it off the template and deleted it on this page because we don't have anything to add. Now we don't have anything to add with counties out here in Montana, but I'm going to leave the sanctuary part there because this is going to be its section. This Montana bill that they came up with. All right, next is Nebraska, and you can see more of what I was attempting to illustrate here, that when I added that thing to the template, it didn't care what the pages had going on. So this is the stuff that was already here, and because this stuff is also here now, I'm going to move the existing stuff down a little bit so there's some room. But let's go over and see, is there anything for Nebraska? There is 8 out of there. 93 counties are sanctuary counties, so I want to leave myself enough room for that also. Paste. Give it a, I don't know what this is. Style? I don't know what this is. Format. I don't know. I've been putting it here because this layout works on other pages, but I'm not sure if I shouldn't have been putting it here. I might put it here just to kind of halfway do it that way. No, for only for the northern reserves and towns up north, I have to pay through the nose. What about American Internet? Can you get American and get it beamed over there? They currently don't have a flag. Well, that's true, but what am I going to do? So, I got American Radio now. Nope. Miniat is only an hour away. There's at least 2 shows a year in Kansas City, Missouri. There's a lot more than that. I've been to, holy moly, was that a 5-state show? Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas. I think I went to a 5-state show down in this little tangent of Missouri down here. I believe that's what they call it. Pretty good show, too. I liked it. Trying to remember. It was, oh man, was that the one in the thing? I went to like 3 shows, it seemed. Oh no, wait, what did I do? I went to 2 shows in one weekend. So I'm trying to remember that. It's in the thing, so I'll redo it whenever they redo it, but that's just it's the word, recent change. Nebraska. Going to try to get my TV working on the TV. Okay. So, Nebraska. Next is Nevada. And nothing really to adjust here, just cram it in here. There's something I can do. Is it right click? There's something I can do here. It's pretty quick and it brings the, I don't know why it makes this huge selection bar every time. And then I have to go up here and make it smaller. See, otherwise I could move this down a hair and move this over. I don't like the look of this. It looks too weird. But I don't like it underneath either. And I've got 3 mosquito bites. So I'm leaving. I'm going to drop the link out here. If anybody jumps in, we'll keep chatting. Otherwise, I got to go put pants on and get mosquito bit. So I'll be back in a minute. And we'll see what happens. Entertain these people, little puppy. She'll sit here and be quiet for you. quietest co-host ever. We're at a point where it's, what the temperature is it anymore? Let's find out. So we're living in a world where it's like 107 every day, which really ain't bad compared to 114, because we just got slapped with 114 a bunch of times last week or last month. So I mean, nobody's bitching about 104. But what 104 brings is the 80s again. So it's under 80 every night. And that's another plus because in the June or in July, I guess, it doesn't really get below 80 very often. So anyway, it's hot during the day or what? And it only gets down to like, just under 80. But right now it's blowing in 96 and it feels cool. When it gets to 80, I'm going to be cold. So we've officially gone, whatever that is, hot-blooded or something. So that's where I'm at. I just walked underneath the air blowing in at 96 degrees and was like, oh, that's refreshing. Like, oh, nice. As if it was a 70-degree fan blowing on me. I hate the CBC state propaganda channel here. I bet you it would be annoying. I watched an interesting thing that was some guy, I don't know what the fuck. He's some interesting, I don't know what he is, some kid, I guess. And he's got a YouTube channel. And I didn't watch enough of his stuff. I didn't like the guy, so I didn't look around his channel or nothing. I didn't like his video. And I just couldn't tell from his whatever, like his background or whatever, the channel layout and stuff. I couldn't tell what kind of channel it is. It's probably just some channel that just talks about other people's doing shit. And then he was bitching about metric system though. And it was interesting the way that, of course, he was, I don't know what his real goal was there, but he was not complaining. He was just sort of illustrating how Canada is one of the poser metrics. There's like Canada and England act like they're metric, and then we were like, we're not metric. In the United States, we're like, fuck metric. And I think we're the only country, except for some tiny country, that was like, fuck metric. All the rest of the countries were like sucking off a metric. They couldn't get enough of it. And Canada, or this guy made an interesting point that, Canada says whatever the hell they want to say, but then at the same time, y'all can just do whatever. If it's a foot long, you don't care. If it's a meter long, you don't care. And if it's a mile long, you don't care. And if it's a kilometer, you don't care. And we're not quite there yet here. But if you talk to anybody who's into like science or doing stuff where you got to use metric, it's not like metric is fucking easy. It's for babies. So we obviously can do metric and that was sort of the guy's thing, except that he was like, why do we have to do metric and why can't we just do metric? But in spite of himself, he made a pretty decent point that the rest of the world is weak and particular, where we're just like, no. And I think Canada's the same way. So whatever, you might have a crazy propaganda channel, but you also ignore it probably, or most of you ignore it. It's been high 80s, 90s for us for days right now. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've not been here during the heat. I probably like this heat better. I probably should shut up about it. Like I say, I don't mind it. When it's 96 and it feels like nice, it's probably because of the dryness, right? If it was 96 and humid, I would not be as comfortable as I am right now. All right, well, that's enough weather. So I don't like this layout. I'm going to move them back over here for consistency. And I'm going to be moving that back and forth because I'm not happy with that at all. Now we're going to move this down a little bit and see if New Hampshire has anything, and they don't because they don't care about freedom. Oops. So we're going to move this out of here. I got to do a Control Shift and then click it, and that pulls it up out of the template, I guess, skin or whatever. Lets me delete it. New Jersey. How many sanctuary counties do you think are in New Jersey? There's 21 counties in New Jersey. Out of the 21 counties, how many do you think are sanctuary counties. Boom, 8 out of 21 counties in New Jersey are sanctuary counties. Also, 29 townships, 1 town, and a borough. So or 5 boroughs, what am I saying? So there's like 5 donkeys running around New Jersey. They're like, we like freedom. Something. And that's why I don't like sticking it over here, because then it just looks really weird, I think, too. So I'm sticking it there. New Hampshire, I had to remove it. Let's see. I don't like this layout, but I'm doing this. Still got to figure something out. All right. There's a New Mexico. And how many counties in New Mexico are sanctuary counties? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? That's right. 26 counties out of the 33 are sanctuary counties. They also have 6 cities, which I don't think it's bullshit. They don't even have 6 cities in New Mexico, but in 1 town. So let's name cities in New Mexico. Albuquerque. Yep, that was it. They have a city, so I don't know what they're talking about. They're calling little dinky cities, or little dinky town cities, probably. Trying to act like big shots. All right, so see, there's no rhyme or reason in any of this yet. I'm trying to just keep things together for now, so they're too mixed up, but they're not good. And after all of that, is there anything even to pull over from New York where open carry is prohibited? Is there any sanctuary counties in New York? Are there? Are there? Anyone? Boom. Yes, there's 2 out of the 62 counties. And 3 towns. So, I don't know why I've been doing this, but I'm going to keep doing it. For consistency. North Carolina. Not too much happened in North Carolina, but there's a lot of stuff in North Carolina. Do they have any sanctuary counties in North Carolina? Boom, 73 out of 100. There's barely only a couple of counties that ain't sanctuary in that state. If you think you're going to go talk to North Carolina about sanctuarying, the lesson's coming, because they're going to school you on it. Boom. And then that brings us to the Dakota. Do you think North Dakota cares about guns? Or these sanctuary cities? Nah, they don't care. They don't even have guns or they ain't sanctuary city. Ohio? Any sanctuary cities in Ohio? Illinois and Virginia are the ones that act like they're so big about sanctuary cities all the time. Ohio. Got to move stuff to put them in Ohio, so it's telling you something. Boom, 31 out of 88. I think pretty good for being a state that nobody even pays attention to. It's a flyover state. I guess they get paid attention to when they're voting. So aside from voting, and aside from all the food they provide, what they do from Ohio, steal cities from them. So that might say 2 cities if they could have kept Detroit. Let's see, now we got Oklahoma. Oh crap, I got an Oklahoma already. Now I got to add more crap because of their freedom. Oklahoma's being messy over here. It's just too much freedom and gun stuff in Oklahoma. And it's unbalanced. Think of poor Ohio that's barely doing any gun stuff over here. Look at Ohio making them look like, or Oklahoma making them look like a punk. All right, Oregon. Well, look at this guy. Got an American Espresso Association logo. What are you sporting that for? Got some can action happening over there. Bringing an RV to a new place, 2-hour drive should be a good test war for the rebuilt engine. Race of rigor. This must be a thing they call in Canada. I'm not familiar with that shorthand, but apparently in Canada, ROR is short for race of rigor. It's common terminology in Canada. Let's see. So now we're up to Oregonians. Do they even like freedom there? Barely. Like half as much as Ohio. Even though they're alphabetically similar to Ohio, they don't even care about freedom, really. They're too busy with Antifa and it up or whatever they do up there. All right, next we got what happened here. Pennsylvania. Already too much crap in Pennsylvania because they love their freedom so much. They cherish it. And then I don't even care about how you have to cram all this stuff into this book. They just keep piling freedom on there. So what I've been doing for these is moving the gun out of the way. Grabbing this thing right here. Pretend I move it down. See what I did? And then I pull this over again. And I also decided that all these guns are going to go all the way across the page. So that just happened. Well, my editor's going to be pissed. But since I'm my editor, I also don't care. So then I'm going to bring this up like this. And then go figure out, after all that, there better be something in Pennsylvania. Does Pennsylvania even give a shit about freedom? Look at this. You're going to see this live. 3 out of 67 counties. That's pathetic. Makes me feel like Pennsylvania just doesn't even give a shit. Are they even paying attention? Do they even care about their counties in their second round? But that's one of the things this book will do, is it'll shame some of these states that think they're so good into waking up. All right, there's Pennsylvania, and now we get to Rhode Island, the tiniest state ever. Do they got any sanctuary cities? Sanctuary counties? Running on Ruck. Nice. Don't run out of Ruck. My membership just renewed. Right on. Boom. So now we got Rhode Island wiping their butts with all the other states' lack of doing anything. 8 out of 10. They barely have it. Somehow they got 10 cities in Rhode Island. 8 out of them. 8 out of those 10 are sanctuary cities and 31 other towns. How do they even cram 31 towns in Rhode Island? I guess every 4 or 5 people becomes a town. And somehow they just cream the shit out of the rest of the states by two-weighing it up. All right, now we go to South Carolina. Where do you think South Carolina is in all this? The home of the tube. And now I'm going to move everything around again. They also have Piedmont Technical College, which is a gunsmithing school. Boom, 4 out of 46. Are they calling it in? Did they realize that Second Amendment is out there? That it's something that they are allowed to partake in? So with South Carolina. Come on, gun tube. Expect more out of South Carolina. What about South Dakota, the other wannabe state? Well, they don't even have any. Look at this. Are they attempting to just have a blank page? Seriously. Well, South Dakota. Tennessee. Yeah, they're about halfway. Kind of care. They kind of don't care. They could take it or leave it. Let's see. Yeah, I'm running out of space for sure. So now I'm going to have to take this and immediately jam it to the back. Because that's one thing that gets in the way. So I got to go to here and send it to the back. And now I'm able to touch things like this and drag them off of there. Now I can move them out of there anyway. Take this, grab it off the template, try to bring it down. Try to cram this back over. Like I said, I don't even care. I'm making it as big as the page now. Boom. Crazy. Not supposed to go past these lines. That's how the world works. And then we're going to go down. Oh, that looks horrible. So now we're going to go back up. It's just shitty. It's horrible. Hell, Barrett, wasn't he even thinking about my book when he started making this fucking gun? Ugh, if he would have put that handle up here somewhere, it would have been fine. It would have been perfect for my layout. But no, he insisted on putting the handle where it's balanced so that you can use it or whatever. Yeah, so I'm going to have to make his gun smaller. It's his own fault for making a giant gun that I can't put on my page good. All right, well, that's how it's going to be now. And now this guy can go up here and look at his gun again. So now I got to take these instructors and move them over here. Come on. I have to take these instructors and move them in next to these ranges. And then after all that, boom, 58 out of 95. I expected more out of Tennessee. I really did. I figured that would be the the state that went 100%. If any of the states were going to go 100%, I would think Tennessee. But no, 50-50. You can take it or leave it. I'm right. Meh. Take them or leave them. All right, Texas. I could probably cram more stuff in Texas, but it ain't big enough. You hear that a lot. Texas ain't big enough. At least this page ain't big enough. All right, so let's see. Does Texas even have any? Does Texas have sanctuary cities? They have 254 counties. How do they justify that? There's other places that barely have 20 counties, and Texas is over here hoarding 254 counties. I feel like that's just taking advantage. Of those 254, only 78. Is there any way to even do the math on that? That's less than half? I know that. It's like less than a quarter. It's like they don't even care about Second Amendment anymore in Texas. Boom. 78 out of 254. I feel like they're greedy. They shouldn't even have that many counties. And then we get to Utah. Utah is one of those places that I would expect to almost be 100% also. But do they really use counties in Utah? They got 29 of them. So it sounds like a lot of counties for a big state, but who knows what they do in Utah. All right, Vermont. Well, it used to be the state that said, we're going to do what we want, and now it's the state that says 21 towns are going to do what they want. They don't even have a county that cares. Not one county that cares. Barely 21 towns. But I guess that's better than 0 towns. Next is Virginia. This is where it all came out. Well, no, this is the one that copied off Illinois first. They were the first ones to copy off what Illinois already did. So they led the way in copying what Illinois had already done. And let's see, they probably excelled since they were literally the first to do exactly what Illinois already had done before. So let's go down and see how many. Does anybody have a current count? This might not be accurate, but here's the thing. What am I supposed to do about it? Yeah, here's what I'm putting in from my database. Boom. 91 out of 95 counties. That's a shit ton of counties for a weird looking state. It's all like a door wedge, and somehow they cram 95 counties in there. And that's probably how they jerry-rigged the election to get rid of guns or whatever they did there. Because that's just way too many counties, in my opinion. 95 counties in a state that looks like a door wedge. You would have think they put something in the Constitution to protect against stuff like that. But they didn't, and they're paying the price. So 91 out of 95 counties, that's amazing. 16 out of 38 independent cities. So how do you have 95 counties and only 38 cities? Is there that means that their cities are in control of 3 different counties. And then they got 41 towns. Even if you put all the cities and towns together, there's still 20 counties out there running rogue without even a town or a city in them. It just means some guy's backyard is a county in Virginia. No wonder they got a tight gun. Get your shit together, Virginia. I'm sick of doing this. I shouldn't have to teach these states how to exist. I'm just supposed to have to do the 2A stuff. My Patreons ain't paying me to fix all these states like this. All right, Washington. A lot of people pronounce it Washington because of the way it's pronounced. 23 county sheriffs out of 30. What the hell is all this? This sounds like an excuse to me. This doesn't sound like a number. Let's go over here, move this down. These are all the people we can blame for whatever this excuse is going to be. 23 county sheriffs in 39 counties and the police chief of one city have vowed to not enforce parts of the 2018 gun control measure 1639. All right, so that's just a super wordy way of me not summarizing it, I guess. But it also seems like an excuse. They allowed a ballot measure to mask any to take their guns away. So we're gonna cram that under there. And now we're gonna bring back up all these organizations that should be in shame for allowing that to happen. You gotta come over here, auto fit, and then make them bigger. I'm not paying for white paper. We're paying for colors and stuff. So now these are all bigger. I can go like that, and I can distribute them equally like that. What happens is though, because this one's a rectangle, and that one's like a round thing with a regular size box. This is a rectangle. They're all crazy, so you gotta move them anyway. Robots can only know equations. They can't know what looks good. All right, so now let's go to West Virginia. And we got the whole thing going with the state firearm again, since there's only a couple of states. I didn't care too much about messing with that. I move that down. I move that over. Get that to approximately there. Oh, see what happened? I have to come over here and get that to stay together. And now when I bring that over, to get bigger, I can bring this up a little bit. So that green line keeps it on there. And after all of that, is there anything in West Virginia? Copy. And 33 out of 55. The same as, no, it's not Virginia, but it's pretty high. This is the same as whatever that other state was. It was only 50-50. Some of these states just don't care. Some people care, but half the people care, but the other half of the people don't care. Kansas is 100% of what? What did I miss? They're not 100%. I got 1 out of 105. It's like the opposite of 100%. Where were we at? We were at Washington. We just did West Virginia. Now we're in Wise-Quinsiana. 6 out of 72. They're basically phoning it in. One city. You know there's more than one city in Wisconsin. I went to more than one city on my last adventure through there. And lastly, and I don't know if it's leastly or not, boom. Flip that over. Get rid of that. Bolding. Boom. And what does it say? Governor Dave blah, blah, blah signed the Wyoming's Firearms Freedom Act in 2010. They don't have any sanctuary counties, but they kind of get a pass because they made all guns legal instead through the NFA back in 2010. Only a couple of states have done a Firearms Freedom Act. I guess I should list that as well. Okay, sorry, High Point's awesome. And to a sanctuary state. Nice. Did they actually say that, or are you just trying to make Kansas feel good? All right, so that is, boom, that's a whole nother column. So now we've taken statehood, incorporated it. CCW, I'm gonna have to verify. All right, so Alabama, yeah. Let's go from the bottom, it's easier, right? July 11th, November 11th. Oh, look, what do we got here in Wisconsin? Why don't I have a date for concealed carry in Wisconsin, I wonder? Maybe I don't have a date for concealed carry in Wisconsin. No, I totally have a date for concealed carry in Wisconsin. Yeah. All right, so good. That's why I'm glad I checked. So, copy and paste. And it is, anybody know when they got concealed carry in Wisconsin? It was in November. It was a November 1st. And it was a November 1st, 2011. You're right. If you answered that, you were right. And so now we got Wisconsin. We got West Virginia in 1989. Got it. We got Washington State in 1961. Thanks for the help on that one the other day. We got Virginia with 1995. We got Vermont with it doesn't apply. We got a Utah with a 1995. South Carolina with a 1995. Tennessee, 1989. Yep. South Dakota, 1986. South Carolina, 96. Rhode Island, 2015. 89, 89. Yep. 95, 2004. Yep. North Dakota, NA. Oh, no, wait. North Dakota should be 1985. Interesting. So, I think I can say 1985, May, June, comma, space. That's weird. I just had like a wave of hot air flow through here. I wonder what's up with that. I bet you that weird drizzle of rain pulled a bunch of heat or something, or I wonder if it pulls heat down from the atmosphere, if it pulls cool down from the atmosphere. Wisconsin's what? That's a tough one. I don't know what that means. Wisconsin's full of cheese? Yes. Correct. Wisconsin thinks it's so good? Yes. Correct. North Dakota. Boom. So then we got North Carolina, 95. New York, NA. New Mexico is 2001, 2003. Done. I got two big NAs. New Hampshire. Do we know if New Hampshire is may issue or shall issue? The New Hampshire is shall issue. Why don't I have a New Hampshire date? They were the 45th state. Wait a minute. No, they were the 41st state to get CCW. How do I know that, but I don't know the date? It doesn't make any sense. New Hampshire has constitutional carry. What? February 2017, yeah. I just don't know what their concealed carry date is. April 2004, Ohio. M-N-O. Yep, April 4th, Ohio became the 46th state. Yep, got that one. Thanks. I don't know if I got it over here as the 40. Yeah, I have it was the 46th also. I have, I try to keep track when I can find it but they don't always tell you which state. And I think they're sometimes wrong because it depends on who they count. Like if they count Vermont as 1 or 0, right? That kind of thing. All right, where was I at? It wasn't in Ohio. I was up here somewhere. Oh yeah, New Jersey, New Hampshire were nothings. Nevada's 95 in 2006, 91 in 2003, 90 in NA. So what's up, Minnesota? Hang on, I think this damn book up. I'll just keep it over here. Minnesota. I would have thought I was seeing this in this list. I guess I didn't. Did I see it in this list? No. Did I see it in this list? Yes. They got hunting with suppressors May 22nd. But I don't know what they got for that. So I got to go look over here and see. Minnesota is shall issue. So I'm going to take this over here and just get rid of the date because I don't know. And they got shall issue. I'll be putting this thing out once I get the layout all done or whatever to Patreons, and you'll be able to hopefully help me with tidying it up and making it accurate and tweaking it and whatever. Oh, where was I at? I was Michigan, Massachusetts. Michigan, 2001. Massachusetts, nothing. Maryland, and nothing in 1985. Louisiana is 85 and 96. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, 96 and 96, if I read it right. Iowa and Kansas is 2006. Yep. Illinois is 13 and 80. Yep. Could imagine how boring this is. Looking at numbers. Oh, concealed carry in Hawaii. There you go. Nobody's saying nothing. And then Idaho, 90. Florida, Georgia is 87, 89. Yep. Connecticut, nothing. In Delaware, nothing. And I don't know, somebody here knows if Connecticut, well, Rick would know if Connecticut has concealed carry or not. I gotta find out from Rick a whole bunch of this stuff. He's probably got a whole bunch of these permits. Colorado is 94 in 2003. Arkansans are 95 and 94. 94 in 2013, and that's it. All right. I kind of want to print this again. Let me save this. I was all tired this morning, and I put in, I don't know, another hour or something in it. I was doing this part. I was making sure that what I just verified right now is what I was doing. And then I got done. I went off air. I fucked around a little bit. And then I went, oh, I don't like this. And then I clicked close. And then it went, should I save? And I was like, I don't need to save that. I just messed it up. And then I deleted it. And I said, no, don't save it. And then I went and opened it later. And I was like, oh, I killed everything that I had done. I had not saved my work for about an hour left this morning. So I had to go back and reduplicate that. That was not fun. But when you already do something, it's a lot easier to do it twice than it is, or the second time than it is to do it that first time. Anyway, so that's what it's looking like. We've got the states, the order that they were accepted into the union, for the most part, except for the states that change them. We got their flags, their state shapes. We got if they have a Second Amendment in their state constitution, we've got that. We've got their status on open carry and when and if they have it. And the circumstances, like whether or not you need a permit to carry, although it's not supposed to be like a carry guide. This is just supposed to be a comparison type of thing, a snapshot of 2020. We've got information similarly on concealed carry and constitutional carry. We also have status of suppressors for hunting and when that happened. One of the things I'm going to need to go in is add what order. So I'm going to start putting the order, because knowing that it has constitutional carry or that it has suppressors for hunting, that's one thing. But then also knowing what order a state came into that is another, I think. I think that's interesting to see, how fast, see trends and stuff. So on with that, there's only a couple of states that have state firearms, but we've included those. Then we have a section for their Second Amendment sanctuary status, and different states have done different things. Sanctuary cities or counties. Some states have passed state level laws that protect or basically protect from outside influence their Second Amendment laws. So I added that to this section here. Then in the main gut of the thing, you've got your activists and your, Second Amendment people, right? So like this lady is, I lost that too, damn it. She is the, let's go find out. Go over to Minuteman and we go to competition shooters, and we scroll down to her. You'll see that Pat Spurgeon is the first markswoman in history to win a gold medal at the Olympics. So I'll paste that in there and flip that over to this color. So we have 2 Olympic firsts, and there's actually others I could put in here. I included these ladies because I was doing history of shooting sports, and these were older accomplishments or whatever. But she was the first markswoman in history to win gold, but there was also the first markswoman in history to win a medal, and she had won silver. So we got Pat, and then I forget where the other one's from, Wisconsin or something. So anyway, Pat is from Alaska. So I have advocates and just people from Second Amendment history in there. We've got the ranges and the gun shops, but mostly ranges and museums down in the bottom left. Other areas of interest or places that might be of interest. We've got 2A organizations for sure, and more than that, there's organizations that are 2A, but then there's also, there's other organizations, I guess. Should say, I guess there's media, and then there's politicians. So they don't all have logos, but they're all going to be included. We've got gunsmithing schools, we've got rallies, and there's definitely more. But as you can see, I still have some work to do with still adding stuff to pages. There's still stuff in the list to add, but most of this top part is pretty tight now, which was just an effort. I knew what I wanted up there, and it just took a amount of time to accumulate it all and then actually get it in here, because just having it over here on the spreadsheet, it takes time, and is one thing. I could print this out, that'd be pretty boring to read. So jamming it into this format, took some time. There's a couple of places where there's a state that has something interesting that we don't already have some sort of a visual for, and some of these states are full and some of them are empty. So I'm going to go do some distribution type of stuff like that. But like I said, there's still a couple of things to add. Once they're all added, then I'll be able to start working on layout a little bit better. And once it's all done, hopefully it doesn't look horrible, and it's hopefully useful. And it'll be a list of an archive of a whole bunch of different Second Amendment stuff, but arranged by state as opposed to chronologically or alphabetically or something else, or a timeline, I guess. So it's coming together, but it takes time. And do the stuff live so that you can see how the software works or see how the system works, so that I can learn from anybody who's got tips or tricks on how to get this stuff accomplished. And of course, I appreciate the assistance from people helping out while we're doing this stuff live. So I run this show. to have a conversation. And I appreciate the people that showed up tonight to chat, but nobody jumped in. So I'm going to end it at about an hour here. As much as I can get done doing this stuff live, I can get done more faster. Plus, I don't really think I need to be working on this right now. Like I say, it's my morning, so I'm about to get up and off of this computer, start getting other things done. So thanks for joining. There'll be shows tomorrow. Caliber Corner, Rick, G23, others. So if you're interested in other live stuff, check them out. Good time to get active and not be apathetic.